Quiet as a mouse. Aggie Pride? Aggie Pride. Aggie Pride? All right. We are coming off of a win on Saturday. North Carolina A&T defeated Campbell 28-24. This week, please note that our start time when we play Townsend here at Truist Stadium is noon. A little bit of an unusual time for us, so kickoff is at noon this weekend. Great weekend for us. Elijah Kennedy won every weekly award, I think, this week. He was National Special Teams Player of the Week, so congratulations to him. He was also CAA Special Teams Player of the Week and HBCU Co-Player of the Week by Box to Row. So congratulations, Elijah. He tied a record for the longest punt return in school history, 96 yards. So we'll be hear from him a little later. But right now we want to hear from our head coach, Mr. Sean Gibbs.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, like always, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for all that he has done and all that he will continue to do. Thank you to all the students, the alums, and the fans that were in attendance this weekend. Special thank you to the best band in the land and the cheerleaders for all that they do. And it's great to be up here after a win. I'm extremely proud of the way that our team fights. They never give up. And on Saturday, we were able to find a way to finish the game. Thought it was a good job by our coaches and keeping our guys engaged and throughout the game and getting us to execute when it mattered the most. Really proud of the way that our guys competed. I think Elijah Kennedy had a special day, and I'm so thankful that he is on our team. However, from the film that I watched, the punt return was 97 yards, which would give him the school record rather than 96 would tie it. That's neither here nor there. We can talk about that later. But so thankful we got him on our team. He's a heck of a competitor and a great story for not only the guys on our team, but kids throughout the country, to somebody that they can look at and learn about perseverance and work ethic. But with all that said, now it's time to flush that game and get ready for a good Towson team that's coming in this weekend. And we know that on Saturday at noon, they'll be coming in looking for a fight, and we'll be ready.
Coach, even with the knowledge of how you want to flush this kind of game away, how has it just impacted the way this team is carrying themselves, if you've noticed any kind of shift at all?
Well, I think we've believed all year. Now we were able to see that end in a win. So that's always good anytime you get a chance to win. But, my main focus right now is for us to understand that's one win. That's what we expected to do. Now it's time to move on and get ready for our next opponent. Like I said, I hate losing way more than I enjoy winning. So it was cool. It was fun. But now it's time to get back to work.
Are there any lessons learned from an experience like that for this team?
Just to keep believing and keep fighting, and anything can happen. I'll be glad when we get to the point where we don't have to fight, scratch, and claw for everything that we get throughout the game. There's times when you look at our season when it's really a critical situation, for the most part, our guys have executed a lot. Now we just got to get them to execute consistently throughout the game. We can't keep having these lulls where we don't execute. So that's just about focus and us getting these guys to focus each and every play and understand that every play matters. And once we can do that, I think we'll see tremendous amount of improvement.
Coach, coming from the bye week, is there anything specifically that you worked on and you had emphasized during that bye week that you saw kind of being brought to fruition in the game Saturday?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's anything just from the bye week. It's something we've been working on all year. You know, stopping the run, playing blue death defense, and we were able to do that. We faced a Campbell team that wanted to run the football and was pretty good at running the football, and we held them to 60 yards rushing on 30-something carries. So extremely proud of Coach Jones and the defensive staff and getting our guys prepared and the defensive players for going out there and executing. So that's something we've been working on all year, not just throughout the bye week.
It seems like you guys were especially stout on third downs. You had a number of big third down stops throughout the game. And that probably was a point of emphasis of what?
I really wasn't pleased on third down. Defensively, we gave up 40% of their conversion, so that's not where we want to be. We want to be in the 20s or lower. But, you know, it wasn't bad, and we did make some plays on some critical third down, so that's good. But we got to be better on third down on defense and really better on offense. We were only 27% on third down on offense, so that's something we've been working on all year. We'll continue to work on it this week, and hopefully we can get better because that's a crucial down. Got to get off the field on defense, and we got to stay on the field on offense.
Last time you guys reported a win, kind of fell into a losing skid. How do you kind of prevent that from happening this time around and keep the momentum going?
Well, you got to move on and keep building. You can't worry about what you did in the past. That's in the past. It's gone. So now it's time for us to understand what can we do to get better. Yeah, we won a game, but how can we get better? What do we got to improve on? What are the things that must get better for us to win again? So that's what we're focusing on, just trying to get better. This week we'll be back out there tomorrow and go to work.
What kind of challenges does a team like Towson present for this week?
Well, honestly, every week in this conference is tough. Like, all of these teams are good. They're big, strong, fast. They got playmakers, kind of similar to Campbell. You know, Campbell had a receiver, number 0, out there he's a grown man. And I think Aaron did a good job. You know, it was a good matchup. They were battling the whole game, and we're going to have to face that again this week. And they got a big offensive line and good running backs, and they're stout on defense. So it's kind of the same thing every week. Teams aren't a carbon copy because they all do different stuff schematically. But by the way teams are built in this conference, you're kind of going to see the same thing each and every week. That's big, strong, fast, well-coached teams.
Up until this point in the season, what have you seen change the most in the team since you've been here?
What have I seen change the most? Well, it's constant. We're constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. And that's what we're trying to do each and every day, is just try to get a little bit better than we were yesterday. I would say the main thing I've seen change is the attitude. And, you know, I got this from Coach Johnson. I said it after the game, but talking to our track coach, he told me it's 2 types of guys in your program. You got achievers and guys that want to be affiliated. And I think at first we had a bunch of guys that were just wanting to be affiliated with the team. And now we got guys that want to achieve something. That's individually and collectively. So that's what I've seen, guys that are working and improving their attitudes, improving their work ethic, learning how to practice, preparing to win, preparing to be special. And that's the major change that I've seen. And we got to keep going, though.
And what would you say contributed the most to the change in that mentality?
People like EK and Josh Isaiah and all the leaders on our team that come out and lead by example and vocally. So anytime you got an example, like I told the guys yesterday in the meeting, it's no secret that EK scores touchdowns. If you come and watch practice, when we punt the ball to him and he catches it, he's scoring. Raven sees it every day she comes out there. We do kickoff return. He catches it. He scores. He practices doing all that stuff. So when guys get to see examples of people that do things the right way and then it pays off on Saturday in a big way. I mean, he was National Special Teams Player of the Week. You know, that's what can happen when you put in the work.
Coach, how soon in the offseason did you identify Elijah as a potential return threat? I know he didn't do a lot last year, but when did you say, like, this guy could be a weapon for us?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the offseason. You know, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm some kind of guru and I just got the magic eye. He just kept working. And, throughout my career, it's been guys like that that just keep working and keep working. They might not do anything to stand out because, before you play a game, we're not getting a chance to see him do anything live as far as, punt return and kick return. So, it's usually against scouts, so you really don't have an idea. And what happened was his hard work paid off and he got a chance. And then since he got the chance, he ain't letting it go.
There's a lot of fast guys on the roster. How do you identify somebody who could potentially catch a punt, and then I guess a kickoff's even different skill than a punt return? I mean, what's
Yeah, well, a kickoff is to me is a lot easier. You got a lot more time. To be a punt returner, you got to have the guts of a burglar. You got to look down the barrel and be able to see the rush, catch the ball, have the composure to catch it, and then have the ability to make people miss. So Elijah has all that. He's a good decision maker. He's got short area quickness, and he has home run ability. And when you combine those things, you have a great punt returner. And we've had a lot of good punt returners and kick returners around here, especially, during my time. That's what I can speak on. But I know it was guys before that, like DeLoach and those guys, but EK is in their class.
I wanted to ask about one more player, Aaron Harrison, kind of his defensive performance. What about his work ethic did you see translate into that game?
Yeah, he's been working hard every day in practice, and we knew that he was going to have a challenge. We didn't necessarily know for sure that number 0 was going to be healthy and able to play. In the same thing with 6 Killer, the quarterback. We had to game plan for 2 different guys at the quarterback position, and we didn't know that 0 was going to be out there. But once he was out there, Aaron stepped up to the challenge. And the thing about it, when you play good players, they're going to make plays too. And, at defensive back, you got to have a short memory and move on. And when the guy did make a play, Aaron just kept on competing. And that's what you have to do, especially somebody like Aaron, who we think has the ability to play on the next level. When you get to match up with a receiver like number 0, who's probably a next level player as well, and you're able to compete with him, it shows the scouts that you're capable.
Speaking of short memory, your cornerback, Tyler Howard, he got called for, I guess, a penalty defensive pass interference. And then a few plays later, he made up for it with a crazy interception. Let's talk about that, his mentality of kind of letting that stuff go and still staying focused.
Well, sometimes people talk about youth, but sometimes youth is great because Tyler's too young to realize how big moments are. So he just goes out there and plays. And every time he gets the opportunity to make a play, he does that. So I think he's a guy that's got a bright future. He's got playmaking ability. He's got good ball skills. He can run. When he gets beat, it's not because he can't run. It's because he's out of position. And it's little things like understanding what leverage you got to have and not letting somebody cross your face, little things like that you have to learn through experience. So the more experience he gets, the better he's going to be. But he's a playmaker. We got a number of guys back there who I'm excited about.
I guess a recent addition to the inside linebacker spot was Cameron Dalrymple. He was a running back last year. He started for you guys earlier as a safety, and he's moving down into the box. Let's talk about his progression, what he's been doing the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, another guy like EK, former walk-on. We're going to put him on scholarship next semester, but he's a guy that just comes to work each and every day. And hopefully guys in our program are learning that hard work pays off and that you will be seen when you put in the work. And, he's a football player, comes from a really good high school football program, and he was given an opportunity and made the most of it. Extremely proud of Cam. And, want to give a shout out to Cam's mother. She recently got, diagnosed with breast cancer. So we want everybody to send up a prayer for her.
Yeah, you guys win yes last week, and then you guys have this week as well. How much important is it for you guys to build up momentum to keep your home crowd engaged, throughout the rest of the season? Obviously, tennis isn't the biggest thing for you, but it's growing your program.
Well, we know that our real fans are going to be there regardless through thick and thin. So that's really who we worry about. And we know that the more we win, the more people will get involved. So we don't really focus on that. Like, our job is just to go out and try to do the best that we can do as a football team and get people excited about the product we're putting on the field. And then if we can put a good product on the field and we can market our games correctly and all that stuff, then we'll get people there. It's going to come.
You you talk about 6 killer, Campbell played 2 quarterbacks Saturday. I don't know if you're respecting that, but when you get into a situation where a team has 2 quarterbacks, are you able to watch them and maybe scout tendencies on when those quarterbacks might get on the field, like maybe some guys for red zone? Or were you able to pick up any tendencies on when they might play?
Well, number one is just one of the better players in the conference, and they put him everywhere. So once we saw 6 killer out there, we knew that we still had to have a plan for number one, not only at quarterback, but at running back, at receiver. They use him in all kind of different places. So it does make you pay attention to personnel, and you could hear our guys on the communicating on the field, knowing that they had both quarterbacks on the field. So we were trying to be prepared for any of the tricky stuff that they might do. But yeah, again, that's just a testament to our defensive coaches, Coach Jones and his staff, and the excellent job they did of preparing our guys.
Real quick, Michael Carlock-Williams, he had a great jump ball, fade route in his zone. He's been emerging the last couple of weeks as a guy. Can you just talk about how, I guess, that the depth chart at the wide receiver positions has been kind of changing? I know you had some guys a little bit injured. Where did he come from, and what's his role right now, Michael Carlock-Williams?
Well, he's been there all year. I just made sure that I let Coach McGee know that, we got to find a way to get the ball to our playmakers. Michael Carlock, JD, we got a number of guys. TB's made some plays. Monty's been hurt. Jameson Warren's been hurt. But we've got a number of guys at the receiver position that can make plays. So we got to find a way to get the ball to him. But Carlock's another one of those special guys. People probably didn't pay attention to it, but he's playing both ways on Saturday. There was times we had him on defense, put him in the post, hoping somebody would throw one up there and he could pick it. But he's a special athlete, hard worker, good kid, and the future is extremely bright for him.
One of my last questions is, I know you going to next week, focus on Townsend, but with the way the season has gone, ups and downs and a lot of close losses, what's the initial sense you get as a coaching staff from a game like that? Is it vindication? Is it just are you just finally seeing things pay off? Like, what's your gut feeling when you leave the field off a big win like that?
Well, really, all the games to me have been the same in this conference. We had a chance to win all of them. We were just fortunate enough to win this one. So, yeah, it's a relief. You're happy, but still, the first thing I think about when I leave the field is what we could have done better and how we could have played a lot cleaner. So what do we need to do to improve? That's my mindset, especially after a win. How can we get better? So we got a lot of work to do. We're nowhere near done. We got to play cleaner. We can play a whole lot better. We can play with more effort. We can do a whole lot of things better. So, this week is just about trying to get better and improving. Last week's done. It's time to move on to a good Townsend team.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless.
All right. Next, we're going to bring up to the microphone Mr. Elijah Kennedy. Elijah.
Touchdown.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Good.
I just want to say I'm blessed to be in this position. God is good, and I'm opening up the floor for questions.
Elijah, how long have you been thinking about those 2 plays, and how long did it take for it to kind of settle in your mind of okay, that happened?
I've been thinking about it all weekend. I don't think it's settled in yet. Yeah.
How would you kind of describe the way that you celebrated?
Just did a Rakai dance with my teammates. Ran over there, got turned. Yeah.
Did you have any maybe favorite part of the celebration?
When I got on the sideline, I couldn't calm down. Everybody was coming up to me.
What did that kind of look like? You not being able to calm down? What were you doing in that moment?
I was just going to everybody. Everybody was coming up to me, hitting me on my helmet, coming to telling me everything, you did good, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Is that pretty unforgettable for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the feeling.
In your memories of
it's up there. It's
Yeah.
number one probably. Yeah, number one for sure.
How long have you been kind of returning punts, returning kicks in your whole football career?
My whole football career, I've been returning punts and kicks. Now I just got the starting position, so it's been a lot more.
Yeah. How would you kind of describe the work that went into earn that starting position and have a moment like that on Saturday?
Just staying down and continuing to work, catching punts every day, catching kicks. Just staying in there. Yeah.
So from the podium, you seem like a mild-mannered kind of guy, but during the game, there was a moment where you got kind of intense. You were, I guess you got hit on a screen pass, and you were kind of joined to the bench. Can you explain, what you were upset about, and how did that kind of motivate you to move forward?
I'll say that's just part of playing football. Intensity gets up there. People talking, this, that, and the third. That's just a part of football.
But it seemed like the next two times you touched the ball were touchdowns.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it pumped me up, of course.
right.
It got me there.
And I guess as a punt returner, you're a little kind of fearless because I guess the general rule is most times when the ball's inside the 10-yard line, you're supposed to let the ball go in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
You actually call it and return it for a touchdown, obviously. So were you thinking, I'm just going to return this no matter what? Did the coach tell you anything? Like, what was the thought process on that?
I really didn't know I backed up that far. But, I just wanted it. I wanted it more than they did. So I just went ahead and got it.
And I guess a lot of times on long punt returns and kick returns, you always have to look at that flag and see if there's anybody blocking the back or holding. I guess, as a testament to your teammates, they were very disciplined.
Yeah, very disciplined.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you guys practice not having the holding calls or whatever?
Just hand placement, staying on block side, and not making any crazy decisions while the runner is running the ball.
And I guess they know if you got a head start, they don't need to do anything.
You don't need to touch nobody. Just keep going.
Yeah. My last question is, honestly, going into this fall camp, what did you think your role was going to be on this team?
I really was just thinking about getting back healthy, getting back to 100%, and helping the team is any way I can help the team. That's really my thought process. That really was my thought process.
So you didn't think you were going to be starting?
I wasn't even thinking about starting. I was just thinking about just playing wherever I could play.
So speaking about your teammates, again, I feel like every time you get the opportunity to return, whether it's a punt or a kick, on the sideline they're always saying they really want you to get one. Do you feel that belief, or does that kind of help you, motivate you when they're out there on the field?
Definitely. Going out there, knowing that my teammates got my back and they want me to get it, is definitely a good feeling.
And so also talking about practice, Coach said you do that all the time. Was that something that really made you comfortable on the field in that moment, or is that something that you just kind of thought about at all?
It definitely does make me a lot more comfortable. Staying practice, just catching the balls and running them in for touchdowns. And obviously I'm tired at practice, of course, but in games it's second nature at that point.
During practice, are you kind of visualizing the game, or is it more just kind of getting comfortable?
I would say visualizing, but getting comfortable for sure.
Coach Gibbs always talks about RBU, the running back fraternity.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of story kick returns from Malik Wilson, Curtis, and those other guys who made record setting returns in the punt return, kick return games. Have they reached out to you? Have you talked to any of the alumnus from A&T?
They came out a couple times and talked to us, but they haven't. Malik Willis, he came out. He reached out to me too, but not really. Just.
So have you set any type of personal goal for any records that might be in your reach?
Now I'm just playing, waiting for the next opportunity. Hopefully I can get the touchdown and the yards record, but if I don't, it's always next year.
And Malik had 4.
Yeah.
In one season.
So.
How many do you have now?
I got 2. So.
Elijah, can you speak to what's the difference this year in the coaching compared to previous years that you've been at A&T?
I would just say it's I think the coaching is in a better place. We have coaches that, like Coach Gibbs, that believe in us and want us to succeed. And yeah,
Do you think that kind of like sparks, some big moments like those moments, the 2 touchdowns that you had? Do you think that kind of gives you guys the motivation to make big plays like that?
I definitely, the belief that we have behind us from our coaching staff and the things that they do behind the closed doors for us, it just gives us more drive to go and get these plays. And
Just one more for you, Elijah. You mentioned earlier at the beginning of the season you were focusing on just getting healthy. Was there a specific injury that you were coming back from, or was it just kind of like a general illness?
yeah, last year I tore my Achilles. So yeah, coming off of that,
How long were you out with that injury?
about 6 to 7 months.
What was that recovery process like? And I mean, did that have any impact on kind of your mentality heading into this football season?
It had a pretty big impact in coming off of the injury, having to relearn how to walk, and that's a pretty pivotal part of running. So like getting on your tippy toes. So it was definitely hard, but with our staff and our training staff, they made it so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't mind me asking, do you remember kind of when the Achilles tear happened? Like, just what happened in that moment? Was it during a game or during practice?
It was during practice over the summer. It definitely it was odd. It happened out of nowhere. Yeah.
Have you ever been injured before in your football career?
Nah, that was my first injury.
Yeah, how did that kind of just like impact the way you were feeling in that moment?
It was hard because you don't know how to feel in that moment. You never been through an injury, you never felt that, so it was hard for sure. But I got through it.
And then, going from having to relearn to walk and relearn to run all of those things to then running into 2 touchdowns on Saturday, was there any part of you that was thinking about where you come from in that moment?
Definitely, it was very gratifying and exciting. Coming in as a walk on and not having any D1 scholarships, and then going through an injury. Staying down and keeping on grinding, getting through all these obstacles, and finally getting to what happened Saturday. It's really gratifying.
Where do you feel like your belief comes from to kind of maintain your focus and kind of your motivation, even as you're kind of like an underdog?
I think it comes from just my upbringing and my faith. My faith, of course. My upbringing just has made me into the person I am today.
Did your family have any particular mottos, slogans, or lessons that you just have always kind of stuck with you as you've grown up?
Stay humble. Thank you, God.
Thank you so much, Elijah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elijah. North Carolina A&T held Campbell to 63 yards rushing. That's a season low. Joshua Isaiah had 11 tackles. Let's welcome him to the podium. Joshua.
Good morning. It's good to be with y'all again. Good to see y'all. It's great to come out and win this past week. Holding to under 100 yards rushing. It was great for the first time this year. So one of our goals is to stop the run so we can make chicken. So I'm glad we was able to participate and help in that aspect of the game. Now we're on to Townsend. Looking forward to playing this week.
Joshua, just take me through what was the celebration like for this team the second you guys stepped off the field?
I was really lost, and I ain't gonna lie, because I took a way to step back and just take the moment in, because I don't know if anybody knows, but like all the past 2 years, I played every single game, so I've been a part of every single loss. The couple wins we had, so I had to really take the moment in to, reflect.
Yeah, and when you were kind of taking in that moment, what was just kind of going through your mind? What were you thinking about?
Just think about the work that it took to just get one win throughout the week, just the process and then just the work really.
At what point do you feel like you started to allow yourself to really enjoy the moment, or was it just kind of like this shock that was setting in the entire time?
When I got back home and was with my family, we all kind of just took a moment to like breathe. So yeah.
What did you guys do together that night?
We had some food and they went back to Charlotte. I was still at home, so that's all we did.
How often did they get to make it out for your games?
Oh, my parents come to every game. I shout out my mom, shout out my dad. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. They come to every game, so yeah.
Can you kind of describe the way that a win like this just impacts the way the defense is carrying themselves, the way that they kind of hold their confidence?
It definitely gives us more confidence going throughout these next couple games, just to know that we can make chicken, we can stop the run. So it gives great confidence.
Last time, we talked about how the defense was focusing on just kind of stepping up and wanting to do better. What about preparation that last week carried into the game?
Just holding everybody accountable, staying in your gap, being sound, using your techniques and fundamentals. It was just holding each other accountable throughout the week, and that's what got the job done.
Defensively, what was the conversation just kind of amongst the group after the game?
We finally was not fulfilled, but we felt satisfied that we got the job done for the team and just want to do it again next week.
What steps do you want to take next to just kind of build on that in this next game?
Just trying to God be a better leader, guide everybody to the right direction, and give wise words when needed. Know when to be quiet and let others talk, and go win some football games.
Thank you.
All righty, it's time for some refreshments. So go ahead and hop in line, and then we'll transition to our coaches show. Thank you again for coming out.